Hi guys, my name is Anais Sosa. I am the clinical coordinator for Integrity Health Services. We are going to be going over in this first video on what to do when you go into the clinic on your first day. Okay, regardless if you're an LPN, RN, or a cover nurse, the first thing you want to focus on is checking your refrigerator. So every clinic has a refrigerator. It could be small, it could be a big refrigerator. It has to have a lock on it. If you do not have a lock on it, please speak with your office manager or administration to get a lock box so you can keep your medications in there. Make sure that in the refrigerator there are no staff snacks, staff lunch, your lunch. This refrigerator is only designated for the students who need medications in there or to keep their snacks, like diabetic snacks. When you do have snacks or medication there, make sure that everything is labeled with the student's name on it. So we are not sharing snacks and we are not sharing medication. Okay, so the first thing is I want to check your refrigerator, and there should be a thermometer in your refrigerator. You want to make sure you have this log, which you will receive or you will have in the clinic. This form here is the log, okay, you need to be focusing on. I usually put this in a clear sheet and I put it right on top of the refrigerator with tape. What you need to do is you need to log the date, okay, under the date you need to log the temperature and initial it. And then over here, you notice the signature spaces you need to print and sign. Only once. So if you're a cover nurse and you're covering that clinic, just initial and sign. Your initials are not sufficient, we don't know who you are. So that's very important. Okay, very easy. Okay, the second thing we need to focus on is our AED. I don't have an actual AED to show you, but I do have pictures so you can see what to expect, where to look for in your clinic. Okay. In the clinic, you will have an AED that looks like this, okay? It will be located either in a white box, okay? It will be located on top of the wall, okay? If you don't have the AED in a box, it's okay. We made some phone calls and we made sure that this was okay not to have a lockbox. So just make sure that it's not placed in a cabinet. It needs to be visible where if in a case of an emergency we can use it, or anybody in staff or in the school can actually locate it and see it. Okay, so it needs to be visible. When you open this AED, okay, you will see this. Okay, you have a space right here. Okay, you actually have a space right here. You can't really see it in this picture, okay? In this little space, you will have one set of pads, adult pads, that are going to be plugged in here. Let me show you what the pads look like. I actually have an actual pad to show you, okay? You need to have this plugged in the AED at all times. Right here, if you take a look at this, this is the expiration date, okay? We need to be focusing on these expiration dates, okay? Let me open it for you so you can see what it looks like. Okay, these are the pads that you will use, and this is how you would place it, okay? Behind, when you open this, behind there's another Velcro part where you will have another set of pads, okay? It comes in a sealed package just like this, okay? Right here is the expiration date. So we're always gonna have a set that's plugged in the AED and ready to go to use, and we're gonna have a set that's sealed, okay, in that compartment behind behind the first part of the AED, okay? What you're gonna do is, the first thing, you wanna make sure that you locate your user guide, okay? Your user guide is gonna be in one of the pockets that's in here. It's actually a little guide, it's a little booklet that tells you step by step what to do in case of an emergency and how to place those pads, even with pictures. Okay, this right here is called a PD key. Okay, since we do not have PD pads, meaning for pediatrics, okay, we have 2 sets of adult pads. Okay, we are going to need to insert this little pink part right in here. Okay, there's a slot, the only slot that's in there. So a child that is 55 pounds or less will receive the amount of joules needed for a pediatric patient or student. Okay, if you do not know how to gauge what 55 pounds looks like, what you need to do is you need to look at the student and see, is the student stocky? If he's stockier, okay, you can use the adult pads and not use this PD key or insert it, okay? If the student is skinny and small, like a pre-K student, you need to use this key, okay? And if you see in the picture, I don't know if you can see it, okay, the pads are placed, the adult pads, these adult pads, you have 2 pads, you're gonna place them one in front and one on the back, okay? So let's go over the log. You're gonna be looking at the log. It also has, this log is good for a whole year, okay? You're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be initialing all the way down, okay? The AED needs to be checked bi-weekly. If you are a cover nurse, please check the AED every single time you go to the clinic. Why? You don't want to be responsible for a nurse checking off, okay, that she's checking the AED, and then God forbid something happens on your shift, the pads are expired or they are not in there, or something that you need in there is not there. Please at all times, if you are a cover nurse, check that AED in the beginning of your shift and make sure everything is in there, okay? If you find pads that are expired, please speak with your office manager. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get this delivered to the school. So it is very important to always have one set of pads that works, that's plugged in, and then your backup, just in case that one that's plugged in does not work, okay?